USA took on Netherlands in the grand finale of the Women's World Cup. This was a very enticing game. We were going to see if the European champions were able to take down USA, if they were going to be able to actually beat USA. USA being the current World Cup champions, we were going to see if they could retain their title against the Netherlands. And this was just a very enticing game. I'm just going to speak on what I saw from this game and just my personal analysis and what I take from it. I saw the USA mostly dominating throughout the whole game. Netherlands had a few chances in the beginning. They weren't giving any spaces to USA, to the American women. And they were closing down the space. They mostly had the midfield, not the midfield, but they had the whole field. They had it covered. They were mostly giving the Americans the space out wide. They were letting them have the wings, basically just all the areas where they couldn't really be um, effective. Not effective, but be very hurtful by creating chances. They would just make the left back or the right back go get the winger. Either it was Tobin Heath or it was Megan Rapinoe, but they just try to shut it down as it came by. Netherlands, I really didn't see them fit for this final. For me, the best team that USA faced in this whole World Cup was England. They were the most evenly matched. They could have had the chance of taking them the extra time. They really pushed them to the limit. But I didn't really see Netherlands being the team that was going to take the throne from USA. Just being honest out there. I know it's pretty harsh, but that's just what I think, what I saw mostly. The USA really did find it hard. Not the American, but the Netherlands goalkeeper was really influential in this game. She was stopping almost everything. They went 0-0 in the first half. USA could not get a break on the Netherlands, and it was a very tight game. They were using a lot of physicality, the players from the Netherlands, from Holland, and they were being really physical with the Americans, making it really hard for them to be comfortable on the ball and just making them being very impulsive in their passes and not really being clinical, not really being precise in the passes. Alex Morgan actually got a shot off that was very, very close. There was a lot of instances in the match where USA got shots and got headers and got things like that, but the goalie mostly took care of them. This was a really good shot. It had a lot of power on it. I'm pretty sure she meant it to go towards that first post. It was really close, but the goalkeeper, being attentive, being the world-class goalkeeper that she is, she was able to get it out on time. And the Netherlands did get a few occasions themselves, but they weren't very effective. It really didn't give a hard enough time for the American goalkeeper to actually care about them. They did get a few instances. They did get a few chances in the game. There was somewhere, I remember one of, like, the number 9 took on everybody, and she basically got it taken at the end of the box, but she took on like 3 players. Like I said, it was very physical. There was a lot of bleeding. There was a lot of fighting for the ball in the air. This was one instance where both players ended up on the ground because they both got hit in the head by each other. There was another instance where I think another player, an American player, another woman, she got hit in the head I think she hit the ball, and the other player trying to win the ball hit her in the eyebrow region, and she just started bleeding like crazy. But ultimately, the game was solved with a penalty. It was in an instance where the defender, I'm not sure of her name, but she basically was looking at the ball and she didn't see Alex Morgan coming in. The ball was very precise and it was actually going towards Alex Morgan. And Alex Morgan was also moving towards the ball, and just her not being very attentive to the play, she ultimately made the penalty. She hit Alex Morgan with her foot, not knowing that she was going to be there. And basically, the ref didn't even call it the first instance. They had to look at VAR, and VAR was the one that would told the referee that they should have looked at the play. But then after that, there was no doubt, and it was a penalty. So then came in Megan Rapinoe, who is very clinical from the 6-yard box. She knew what she was going to do, where she was going to slot it in. She made the goalie, I think, go right, and she hit it towards the left, and I don't know. I felt like it could have been saved, but the goalie tried her best. It wasn't a very valiant effort, but ultimately Megan Rapinoe just opened up the game. USA was calmer after that. Well, not really. They were really trying to get a goal. That's what I saw towards the end. But USA was basically calm. They had the goal. I think it was like the 60 something minute, or maybe the 70th minute, around that range. It was like half of the second half time, and they broke the deadlock, and they were able to go up in the just in the marcador, in the tally, And so you could see what it meant to them, what it meant on their faces. Like, they were so happy to finally be up by one. They were trying the whole game. They had most of the chances. The Netherlands had a few chances, but USA was looking like more of the offensive team and the more dominating team. And it meant a lot to them. They got like a relief from it. And then basically a few minutes after Lavelle, I think is her name, she was able to get a ball. I mean, they won it in the midfield, I think, by Crystal Dunn slide tackling and giving it to another player. Then that player gave it to Lavelle, and then she just seeing that it was like a 4-on-4, I guess, counting her coming into the play. Alex Morgan was dragging her defender towards her, and it was leaving like the middle space open, and the defender didn't know if she was going to pass either out right or out left to Alex Morgan, Rapinoe, or Torben Heath. And knowing that they were all marking a person and that defender not coming towards Lavelle, she basically took the position, she took the space, and she basically just slotted it home. She got in the 18-yard box, and then as she was going towards the left, which was the space that was being open out wide, she just slotted it in with like a with her left foot, hitting it as hard as she could to the opposite post of where the play was actually happening. It was going towards the left, and she hit it towards the right, and the goalie was not able to save it. And that was basically the second goal. And that basically just killed the game. Netherlands really wanted to go on the offensive, but it was opening up a lot of gaps that they had secured throughout the whole game. And USA really could have won by like 3 or 4 goals if they just would have been more they just would have been unselfish. I know Crystal Dunn had a shot where she could have literally she took on the player, she faked to the right and she went left, and she was one-on-one with the goalie, and literally once that instance happened, if she just would have hit it towards the middle, Alex Morgan was coming in alone. She was basically calling for the ball. She didn't get it there. Somewhere Alex Morgan had the ball, and she just could have gave it towards the middle. A few were Christian press as well. Tobin Heath was trying to get her goal as well, and she was being very unselfish. There was a play where literally they started up from the midfield with Alex Morgan, and she just ran it all the way through. And it was a very good play. It left her one-on-one with the middle defender, but I felt like she was doing way too many fakes, too many regates, too many little, I don't know, going left, going right, and she never decided where to go. And ultimately, the defender got into a better position to block her and just made it hard for Tobin Heath. And ultimately, she got subbed off, and they let Carly Lloyd in, and the same. They were trying to get her a goal. And it's an unselfish play from that point, but it doesn't really look good as a team perspective because everybody just wants their goal, which I can understand. But like for the most part, if you're in the World Cup final, the people want to see goals. They just don't want to see that this player got to go, that player got to go, whatever. That's what I say. Ultimately, basically after that, they were just closing off the game. And you could see the subs already lining up, and as the whistle blew, they just ran onto the field to celebrate. This was a very good World Cup. It was a great World Cup for the United States. They did what they had to do. They were the World Cup champions. They retained their title. This is the 4th time they win the World Cup out of the 8 times it's been played, which is very impressive. It's very dominating performance. They won the last 2. They were even in the final for the past one before that. They were in the 2011 final, but they lost to Japan. And they've been growing. They have a well-established identity. They have a standard that they want to pursue. I felt that most of these players are like in their late 20s, late 30s, the veterans, the ones that have been through these instances. And I was thinking to myself, maybe they're not going to be as dominant as they will be for the next World Cup, but the ones on the bench, they're really high class. They're going to be the stars of the next World Cup. And like I said, they have their identity, they have the standard, and these players, they know what they're going to be playing for. Megan Rapinoe ultimately won all the accolades. She got the golden boot. She made 6 goals in the World Cup. She got the golden ball, being the best player named in the World Cup. And just with these accolades itself, I don't see why she's not going to be the Ballon d'Oro for women. She's going to be the best women's player of this year. For me, this is how you award the award. Just seeing all the accolades that she's won, she's got to be the best one. Not like Luka Modric, who didn't even win the World Cup, won the Ballon d'Oro, had a terrible season, but he was the best player of the year. Whatever. That's just me being biased, but that's just what I got to say on that. I mean, like I said, USA is going to be very dominant for years to come. Most of these leagues, like I said before in other videos, are Italian league, Brazilian league, Spanish league, Spanish big clubs like Madrid and Barcelona. They're growing in the women's sport. Real Madrid's going to make a women's team. They're also demanding really high wages. They're looking to get the highest rated players. And these two for me were like the standout players for USA, Alex Morgan as well as Megan Rapinoe. They're really high class. They're going to be very old for the next World Cup. They're probably going to do some type of thing like Cardi Lloyd did this World Cup, where they come in the second half. Or if they keep their stamina up, maybe they might be in the conversation. Who knows? The thing that I see that USA has a lot of dominance in is that they're really physically fit, meaning a lot of other nations, they have the tactics. I feel like they have the skill, the ability. They have very skillful players, but that physical condition is not there, and that's what's mostly giving USA all these triumphant victories. In my opinion, I feel like they also have the little tactics. They do have the identity right, but that physicality, just being natural born athletes, and just that mentality is also what's brought them to these instances as well. The next World Cup is not going to be as easy as this one was. This one really wasn't easy at all, but USA still had the quality that they've been showing, that they've been demonstrating. Maybe USA is going to win the next one. I don't think it's going to be as easy, but I feel like every other every other European team is going to be up there. USA has won this one fair and square. They were the best team. They made a lot of records. I think they win like 12, 13, 14, I don't know how many games unbeaten since the last World Cup, and that's something to applaud. I think they made the most goals in the World Cup. They probably got the least scored on, probably like 3 getting scored on, and it's something to applaud. They have a standard. It's something very, very effective, but they got to look out for the next one. It's not going to be as easy. In the quarterfinals, all the teams were European. A lot of those teams have very good players that are going to be playing in these higher leagues, and these leagues will get another 4 years to develop. And the fans, they were the ultimate winners. They showcased a masterclass, and USA Soccer is growing a lot. They mostly have been dominating, but like I said, their league has been around for quite a while. They put importance to the women's game since like the 70s, I think. But the women's league was implemented like even before the men's league. Like MLS, I think, was implemented in the 90s, but who knows? We'll see what happens for the next one. I applaud USA. They were the best team. And this is just all I got to say on the matter. I hope you like this video. I hope you subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment what you think about the women's team. Leave a comment on what you want me to talk about next, and I'll see y'all later.